right, now I have the impossible task to moderate a panel that somehow comes together completely random. So I understand all of your speakers who are willing to participate in this spontaneous panel, please just join me here on stage. We also going to get very spontaneous questions from the audience here through the Slido. You guys had the whole afternoon to enter questions, so they better be good. Okay, everybody, come join me here. Come on. Don't be shy. Yes, yes. Here you go. Grab some mics, and you will need to share the love, those who don't have mics. Just grab whatever. And actually, we decided we're going to do this panel standing. Just, we have these chairs here only for decoration to show that it's not a stiff panel. So just huddle here, right? And audience, this is your opportunity to take a great picture and maybe give the summit some love on social media, tag everybody, get some likes. This is going to be fun too. So we have a first question here. Who is legally liable when AI is found to be guilty of causing collateral damages? Views.
Yeah, I feel concerned by this question.
Yeah, go for it.
Targeted. Well, it's a big question. It's hard to give a clear answer, but fundamentally, the person who has been putting the AI on the market or who has been making it available for use does face a liability claim. The developer of the AI system could also face an indirect liability claim as well. So there's no real clear boundary as to when it stops. Liability is sort of a never-ending chain of direct liability followed by indirect liability. So the only way I can really clearly answer this question is to say whoever put it out there, and it could be many different parties, could face liability claims. The more complicated question is, how do you quantify damages? You know all these stories, and some of them urban legends, other ones very true about US damages, treble damages, triple damages, punitive damages. We don't have this over in Switzerland, nor in Europe yet, but that's always a tricky question. That's where the lawyers come in, that's where we have fun, so, yeah.
So thank you for this answer. Anyone cares to comment? Any other views from anyone? No? No? I see here their faces, so let's carry on with the question for you, Thomas, right? I'm sure you've been burning to answer that one. That you said AI is competing with other technologies. Aren't all other technologies expected to embed AI at the core?
I assume they're still working here?
Yeah, it should be.
Hello? Okay, good. Yeah, I meant it actually in two ways. One is it's competing for funds. So it's a technology, it requires investments, and Soka for sure has experience when you apply it. It requires an CapEx, and you have to free up that CapEx from your investment portfolio. Second thing is, of course, there are different ways to implement certain functionalities. The example, I think, with risk evaluation is a good one. You can implement that in different ways. It has its advantages and disadvantages. At this stage, it's a young technology, so there's a lot of work to be done, and the question is to what degree you want to use it going forward. If you look at it as an evolution step by step, starting small and then trying to get it to work and then growing over time, is for sure an option. But I think Joanna may have there as well a view.
I don't have anything to add. I mean, you did a very good summary of the answer, we could say.
I'm very happy.
No, so I'm trying to accelerate because I know that we are under time pressure, right? So.
All good, but care to comment? We still have about 5 minutes and only one question here. So, anyhow, okay.
So maybe adding says something. When it comes to the technologies and the competition, I mean, as there are different ways to do things as well with the investment in technology, the question is what fits best and what you need. Is AI, when you use it today, really the thing which is going to be there in the next 20 years? I would say no. Why? It's just like with blockchain and other technologies. You're using technology tools underneath to implement as the algorithms. So the underlying platforms are going to evolve, going to change, and there will not only be ChatGPT and similars, there will other providers be in the market as well. So we're talking in the end about technology. It's not a universal wisdom or a universal solution. And we see with the development cycles in the market, which are extremely fast nowadays, that new tools are out there which eventually will, technology-wise, outperform what we have in the moment. And you remember with blockchain, we had as well in the beginning a lot of hype. Then it settled in that it costs some energy to run actually the algorithms and keep the ledgers azure, particularly the distributed ones. AI requires as well energy. And the next discussion which I'm expecting now is that for AI we are getting as well into a sustainability question. How sustainable is currently an AI system which has to process so much data?
Sustainability, regulatory questions, naturally. We have a great question for the commodity guys. You might like that one, no? Around digital assets that have been mentioned, and if we could trade commodities using crypto assets instead of US dollars, and what potential consequences would be?
So I'm not aware of being able to trade commodities using crypto. I don't know if anybody else knows that. However, on derivatives, we can trade commodities on the same exchanges and crypto, so maybe at some point that will be possible. I think on the compliance side, that will be quite an issue, because we really have to know where the funds come from as we buy a cargo or we buy some oil. So that will be more a compliance question rather than a trader question.
Okay, great. And then maybe one for you. Who should own the greenwashing detection and identification process between public and private sectors?
I can attempt.
Go for it, gentlemen.
I think there's obviously a responsibility that's taken by the public sector to normalize what must be reported by organizations. Therefore, the CSRD from the European Commission and the two regulations, laws that are passing in California. There are more laws that are coming, or more regulations that are coming from the SEC in the US, and this is going to spread out throughout the world. At the same time, it's also a responsibility of private companies to report accurately where they are, where they want to be, and how they're going to get there. And failure of doing that, the stakeholders that work or that consume those products will bring it up. So for example, Danone in France, large company, is being sued right now. While they have a very good sustainability track record that they publish, they're being sued by companies that suggest that they're maybe consuming too much plastic, the yogurt. I mentioned Nestle was shamed by brand audits. So did Coca-Cola and PepsiCo. So the stakeholders are making private companies accountable on sustainability and hopefully helping them avoid greenwashing moving forward.
Okay, great. And then maybe one for you. You mentioned indices are here to actually make the world better and to improve. And here one question is, why is then the implementation of simple solutions such as energy savers and the things that we see so slow?
Okay, very quickly, nothing is simple. And if something is simple, trust the French to make it complicated. But there are two elements to consider there. First one is that any solution of that type needs to be scalable. That is, you're not going to equip one particular part of a city with a smart garbage collection thing. You want to do it at the scale of the whole city. And then we have the problem of procurement, you have the problem of competition, and the tradition in Europe and in many other parts of the world is to start with many small competitors, and then you run into the problem of harmonization. We see that with charging stations for electric vehicles, for instance, where we have too many competitors. Hopefully, the market will sort it out, or we'll have a harmonized solution. But there is an even more fundamental element, which is particularly important in Europe, which is that many ideal solutions look good on paper, but they look good if only you were building a new city somewhere in the desert. Not everybody is NEOM, and nobody knows where NEOM is going to lead. But in Europe, we pride ourselves in having history, culture, ancient building. And the difficulty, if you take just circulation, traffic, is not just the quality of the electric vehicle and signaling. It's the structure of the streets. It's difficult, it's complicated. A city like London is a nightmare for people who want to apply any of this simple solution to the city of London. And yet, we're not going to destroy all the cities to make them smarter. We should not do that, because their history, their culture is part of what will be their success as talent hubs in particular, as attractive cities in the future. So nothing is simple, but there's a lot of room for innovation.
And maybe because you want to add something? Maybe because we should take this discussion to the apéro, since I assume everybody is waiting. If I could ask you if you had one wish that people in the room would do tomorrow, very practically, what would it be?
Listen to the young people.
Listen to the young people. Wonderful. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, apéro awaits you, but before we come to that, a huge, huge thank you to Olivier and Christian and the team. Please give them a huge, huge applause.